Hi, hello everybody, and welcome to Maggie's Woo Woo Wednesday. I hope everybody is well. Today we are going to behave, but I'd like to say hello, Genocide. Hi, darling. Hello, Jiggy. I hope you're jigging with your juice. And we love each and every one of you who turn up every week. I do anyway. Enough said, because that's all I can see in the chat at the moment, unless there's anybody. Oh, no, it's just Jiggy and Genocide. Yes, it's the Maggie Show. And on that note, I'm going to invite our very cool guest, Mrs. Cool K, Kory.
Hey, Maggie. Hey, everyone. Hey, Jiggy. Hey, John.
Hey, Kory. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really, really well, thank you. I'm really enjoying my show.
Yes, I'm enjoying your show also.
Yeah, I'm so glad you returned.
Yes,
I really,
thank you.
really am.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was a little bit. Yeah, when Robin asked me again, I was like, "Oh, okay, sure."
Yeah, because you're going to get a word in edgeways this week.
Well, between me and Maggie, between the two of us going on, because she goes on, I go on. I can be talking about something, and 15 minutes later, it's like, okay, what was the point? Just like Maggie. So it's a redhead thing. It's a redhead thing.
Yes, I know. My mother was a redhead. It's carried on. My eldest grandson is a redhead. Okay. All on my mum's side was redheads, to be fair. Yeah, brothers were too.
Yeah, my whole family was. We all had different color red hair. And then the grandparents, it goes all the way. There's a lot of red hair in the family. So yeah, it goes way back.
And this is our very own Kory.
Oh, God. Okay, I got the Chinese finger puzzle off enough to rip the duct tape off my mouth. And I got out of the safe room. Geez, you guys, you forgot me. You left me behind. That duct tape really itches, man.
Damn Chinese things.
Damn, I know. And it was just wet. In fact, I still got it on one finger, but it won't get in the way. It kind of makes my finger off.
I'm not going to say what Jiggy's just
said. No, there's so much I can say.
There was a ball gag. Now it's all like has spit all over it because it's like those doggy chews you can't put them up because they're all spitty and slimy. That's what the ball gag was. Spit strings when I finally spit it out.
Jiggy wants to know who Robin is.
Who?
Jiggy.
Yeah. Who's Robin?
Well, actually, right. I'm the escapee from the safe room. We had this gathering backstage, and we were talking, and I didn't realize that they were handing me this Chinese finger puzzle, and then Maggie says, "Hey, look over here," and I looked over here, and there went the duct tape, and then they left and turned off the lights. So I was just kind of.
We tried to lock the door, but there wasn't enough time.
Hey, Mario.
Hey, Mario. Another Maggie show.
Another Maggie show.
Mario, thanks for showing up to the Maggie show.
This could go on and on and on.
We could just carry it on and on. Oh, okay.
This will go on for weeks. This will go on for weeks.
I know. Yeah, I think Spooky's even doing clips of dumb shit we say sometimes.
I would not be surprised. He's probably got things all put together so he can have us saying things that he wants us to say.
Oh, yeah. I know. Those people can make us look like liars and shit.
I wanted to show you this. Can you see me?
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, that's cute.
That's
Are you sitting down?
That's me sitting down, yeah. 25-year-old Maggie.
Oh, wow.
25 years old. Aw.
You don't
Yeah,
look very
not long ago. And that's now Danny, I don't know how old he is,
Aw.
but there's the 3 kids. Everybody thinks that Danny looked like he's got,
Aw.
but that's
Wow.
me a bit older. About
Oh,
42, I think.
All right.
how cute is that? So you went to a studio that had all these costumes, or what?
It was a day out of Blackpool.
Cool.
Huh. Cool. Okay, yeah, Mario Heat. There are 2 guests on the Maggie show today.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. So when last
Yeah, and I love you.
oh fuck it, started already. So Kory, the last time you were on, I know. Okay, what we usually ask people is favorite thing. How did you get started on the YouTubes? What brought you to it? What was your interest when you first came on YouTube? What was going on at the time? And how long have you been on YouTube? As a guest or otherwise?
I'm fairly recent to YouTube. I pretty much followed Jiggy on YouTube because I met him actually, I believe, in Twitter. Just because of the being into the paranormal and all that and horror and all that. So you get, you follow a bunch of people. So I started talking to him on Twitter, and then we got together on Facebook also because he's got one of his older pages was there. So so I met him there, and I just only came to YouTube just because of Jiggy. The show went on YouTube because when he first went on, it was on Blog Talk Radio. And we didn't see them; we just heard them. So, and then he went onto the YouTube, and it was great because I'd heard Smoke King all these years, and I'd never seen him. I'd seen Jiggy the one time on the first video and on some pictures and stuff like that. But it was really cool to see them, sitting there, especially Smoke King, because I always wondered what he looked like. This crazy guy, and stuff like
cutie.
that. Huh?
He's a cutie, cute personality.
I love him. He's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, and they're both just really cool together. They're both darling as fuck. And
yeah.
Hey,
so that's how I got into it. I've got into the paranormal really because of my dad. When I was a kid, I was one of these kids that saw dead people. I figured it was more than usual. I know a lot of kids, and I talked to a lot of my friends, like growing up and stuff like that. And I did a little survey, and it's like, okay, how many people had imaginary friends? And of course, everyone puts their hands up. I says, okay, how many of them were dead? And over half were hands went up. And I'm like, okay, how did you know they were dead? And they were like, well, they were bleeding or they had a knife in them. And okay, yeah. So I used to see my poor parents. I don't know what they would think. Here I am. I'm this little tiny. I'm like about 4. Why is there a man on the couch bleeding? Of course, my mom and dad are like, where? My mom's like mortified. She didn't really buy into the whole thing actually until she saw a ghost in one of our houses. My dad always believed, because he's had experiences, which he told me about later, and his mom and apparently my grandmother, the bunch of, we're not, okay, I'll say this right now. We're not psychic. I'm not a medium. The only thing I can think of that I'm the closest to is maybe I'm a sensitive.
Empath.
Maybe, yeah. But I'm not a medium. I can't read your mind. I don't talk to dead people. I see them still sometimes. And then, so my dad figured, because I was so scared and having all these nightmares, like running in the room screaming that there's these things under my bed. And I was just, and my dad, I guess trying to maybe disprove me. Here I am like 4. And I'm describing this thing in detail. And I used to draw pictures of them and stuff like that. I heard my dad talking to my mom one time, and he goes, well, if she's that descriptive, he goes, she's seeing something. And my mom's like, well, her whole thing is she was hoping that I wasn't crazy. And my dad's like, no. He goes, he goes, a lot of kids see stuff. And he goes, I saw stuff when I was a kid. So anyways, yeah, so he started explaining to me what ghosts were and, maybe like demons. And I'm like, I said to him, like, what are monsters? Because I said, sometimes I see stuff and I says, I don't think they're human. So he basically, much to my mother's very unhappiness, started showing me horror movies. And we would watch these things, and he would explain, like, these are demon, and he asked, like, did you see these things? And I'm like, well, not that, but close, but, So what he figured is that I would see all this stuff and be scared enough that stuff in real life wouldn't scare me, and it worked. So as I got older, he would take me to like real seances and fake ones. So, and he said there, and he told me back then, and this is, years ago, I was, like over 50 years ago. And he said, like, there's a lot of people that'll scam you. He goes, and he says, like, these mediums, these psychics, and he's like Jiggy. He didn't really believe. He goes, there was only one lady that he went to that told him a bunch of stuff that nobody could know. We went to some psychics. I used to have them. I would say I've maybe seen 10 since I was about 6. Out of those, 8 of them told me they couldn't read me because I was just like them.
Bingo.
My dad, we're both kind of like, of course, warning us, oh, well, how? And my dad just said, if they say anything like that to you, just get up and we're leaving. So I know I'm not psychic. I know I can't read your mind. I mean, I can tell if there's spirits around. I can tell if bad stuff happened in places. Just stuff like that. But I always say to people, like, because, oh, you're psychic. I'm like, no, I don't, talk
it's just a label that people stick on people again.
It's like exactly, because they don't know what else to call it. I mean, I really, as you said, I mean, I go between, I mean, to me, empath and sensitive are kind of the same. That's the only thing I can think I am, because I mostly call it my instincts. I tell people, listen to your instincts. I says, you have to remember that at one point we were all animalistic and had to rely on our instincts. They're still there. We just don't listen to them anymore. I says, I just think that I listen to mine more than other people. That makes sense.
I think it's called, I don't believe in human instinct. I think it's every bit of it, every drop of it is learned behavior. Yet a field mouse has more instinct than human beings do. You have to teach human mothers how to fucking nurse. We do not have instincts. It's all learned. It's conditioned response. And I think a lot of that empathy, when people think you're psychic, I think it's the ability to really pay attention.
Yeah, really
and
listen.
Be aware, just hyper aware. Hyper awareness can often look like you're like outguessing something. No, because you can feel signs and signals.
Exactly, because a lot of people, like, they don't listen to listen. They listen to
wait for the next thing to say.
They're too busy getting an opinion to exactly. So I just call it, my instincts. That's
well, because you have you have an innate ability to read what's around you, to be aware of what's around you. I think probably you have more sensitivity neurons, perhaps, that makes you pick up on stuff that just a regular person doesn't give a shit.
And maybe I'm more open-minded just because of what I went through, and maybe I see things different because I am more open-minded than, let's say, like my mother. As I said, like, I mean, she never believed all this stuff until they lived in, we grew up for about 8 years. One of the houses we were in was haunted. She didn't see anything there. That's where I saw the most stuff. And my brother actually admitted later that he saw stuff too, but he didn't want to say anything because he didn't want to think that maybe he was, as he said, going on the bandstand, because he said he knew I saw stuff all the time. And then they had moved into it was a beautiful house. It was in this little tiny town called Cannington, and it was like a century home. It had to be about 130 years old, just beautiful house. But it was there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
A lot of stuff going on there, let me tell you. No, but this lady, we tried to figure out where she was from. Me and my dad saw her quite a few times, and she always used to hang out on the stairs. And I remember one time we were sitting there, we were just talking. All this stuff happened. It's always me and my dad for some reason. And I just turned to look at him, like there's the doorway right there, then the stairs go up. And she's standing on the stairs, and she looked at me. And my dad realized I saw something, so he looked. And then she looked at him, and she just walked down the stairs and out the front door. Well, there's a window behind us. So, of course, I look out the window to see if she went on the front lawn. Of course, I don't see her, right? So I look at my dad. I'm like, you saw that, right? He goes, what did you see?
Yeah.
I said, lady. I said, she, maybe in her 20s. I said, like from a long time ago. I said, she kind of looked like Little Schoolhouse on the Prairie kind of thing. Like she looked like an older, old-fashioned school teacher. Long black skirt. She had a white top on, a little bit frilly, nothing like not too dressy, but she had the hair with the bun. You know how the hair was always, it was all in a circle and they had the bun. You know what I'm talking about? With the
Gibson girl.
Yeah, I had one of them.
Exactly. Exactly. And my dad's like, yeah, that's what I saw. So I remember one time, me and my mother, you go up the stairs and immediately you look forward. There's the bathroom. To the right is my mom's room, and then my dad's room and the guest room. So in my mom's room, it was so big that there was a little separate room, and she had the washer and dryer in there. I guess it was, made sense to have it in her room. So we came up the stairs, and of course we both go to turn to go into her room, and this woman is sitting on her bed. Now, Mom was doing laundry, because I think that's what we did. We had come upstairs to fold laundry or put the laundry in the dryer. And of course, we come and we look, and she's sitting on the bed, and she's looking at the washer. Well, of course, as soon as we got there, she looked at us, and then she just faded. That's all I can say. It's not like she disappeared. She faded. My mom's standing there, and of course I'm standing there. I'm like, we stood there for about 5 seconds. She didn't say anything, and I'm like, okay, you have to tell me that you saw that. And she's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it says, she's like, she was so cute. My mom was she's such a prude. She was so cute. She's like, I saw a ghost. I'm like, yeah, we keep telling you she's here. She didn't really do anything. I think she was residual, whatever yeah.
Yeah, residual energy, but not because
she was always on the stairs. I mean, sometimes she would look at us, but then I realized there was a certain pattern that you would see.
Yeah.
Come down the stairs and then she'd look. So, I mean, the first time I thought she was looking at me, because, I mean, she looked right at me. She was mostly solid, but you could see through her. My mom was like, I just saw a ghost. I says, and I'm thankful that it was a nice one, because I've seen way worse shit than her. I remember one time, it was so funny. My grandmother, we called him her boyfriend. They went out for 25 years. I don't know what you call. He wasn't my grandfather. He was Maurice. So he came up after my grandmother died years ago, and he was still, I mean, he's been part of our family for a long time. I mean, he's passed on now. He came to visit. We forgot to tell him. So, of course, in the middle of the night, he goes to the bathroom. It's right in front of the stairs. So he goes to the bathroom. Of course, he opens the door, and she's standing right on the stairs, like maybe the third step down. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And he lets this scream out. Of course, we're all like, ah! We come flying out. We're like, what's wrong? He goes, there's a lady in your house. I'm like, no, it's okay. And my dad's like, does she have a long skirt on? He's like, yeah. my dad, was she on the stairs? And Maurice is like, yeah, it's okay. It's just the ghost. And he goes, what do you mean it's just the ghost?
Yeah.
Well, my Grammy used to call them shades. And shades are like it's like a negative. It's like an image of someone's energy essence. They're not really there. That's why you cannot talk to them and they do not respond, because it's like just this thing that lingers. It's not them. It's not them. It's just what they've left behind. I've seen that. I've seen that. And I would always refer to them as shades because that's what my Grammy, from the Irish shit.
Yeah, we all call it. Yeah, we call them spirits or whatever. Most of the ones, me and my dad used to talk about. Most of the ones, I would say 75% were residual. You can tell because they always kind of did the same. It was always the same thing.
Routine.
It's the same loop. I mean, even though sometimes the loops are really long, and sometimes it takes a couple of hours to go through a loop because they might go through the whole house. They might go down and do, you know what I mean? Do laundry. I mean, it was, we had one and it was like, and like, sometimes, one time it freaked me out. She walked like right through me. I was like, oh.
Did you feel the cold energy?
What's wrong? I'm like, oh, it just walked through me.
Yeah, did you feel the cold?
Did you feel the cold?
It was kind of like, when you go outside and there's like, it's like that freezing mist and it hits you. It's kind of like that, but it goes through. Yeah. I'm like, fuck! My dad's like, I'm like, I was about 9. My dad's like, what's wrong? I said, it walked through me. I said, I'm going to die now.
Aww.
I said, you're not going to die. And I'm like, I'm cold. I'm all cold. Oh, my poor father. What he went through to try and prove all this stuff to me. God bless him. So, yeah.
I had a gag order put on me when I was 4. I got belted because staunch Catholic, you see.
Oh, hello. Yeah, Roman Catholic. Yeah, hello. Yeah.
Yeah. So my parents didn't believe at all. Not a thing. I was so alone, it was untrue.
Oh, that's so
but
sad.
I'd been seeing them forever. As soon as I could remember. And I was screaming, crying, and getting a belt for waking everybody up in the middle of the night.
My mom, I remember I used to hear them talking. My mom said, are you sure she's not crazy? And my dad's like, no. And he said, he had to finally tell her at some point. He goes, I see some of the things that she does. So he goes, what? He goes, we're having like a mass hysteria. He goes, some of the stuff that she's seen, I've seen before she's seen it. Like, and he says, she's described this thing to me perfectly. You know what I mean? But my poor mother, it's so funny, I'd walk in the living room, it's like, my mom's like, why is anything right? My dad's like, looking at me like, what? I'm like, he goes, what? I'm like, she's got a knife in her head. My dad's like, oh geez. My mom's like, this is what I'm like, yes. This is why do you think I'm freaked out all the time? Oh yeah. It wasn't all the time, but as I said, more than, as I said, I have talked to, I remember we did this with one of the paranormal groups I used to go and investigate with. We had them bring their kids because we were having a discussion one time about are they spirits or are they imaginary friends? So we said to them, next conversation, bring the kids. Well, we're not going to scare them or nothing like that. So I explained to these kids, and there was probably about maybe 25 of them, all from about maybe 5 to about 16. So I explained to these kids, who I was and that, I saw, ghosts when I was a kid, and that it's okay, and, there's nothing wrong with it, and sometimes people are going to believe you and sometimes they're not. So I said, okay. I said, I just want to do a little test for your parents. I said, okay, who had imaginary friends as kids? All the hands went up. I said, okay, how many of them were dead? And about 16 went up. And I'm like, how do you know they were dead? Well, I could see through them. They were bleeding. They were gray. they had mud on them, or in a few cases they had told the kid that they had died, but they were staying there 'cause they're waiting for their mom, or the parents were shocked. I said children see a lot of stuff,
a lot more than, because they're not conditioned.
Because they don't know, and they might not say anything because they might not realize that it's not normal. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't say anything for a long time. I mean, my dad asked me finally when I was about 6. He's like, how long have you seen this stuff? I said, since I was like little. I remember stuff, and for some reason I used to freak my parents out. I have memories from when I was like 6 months old. Like, just I'll say something and my mom's like, you were a year old. How do you remember that? I'm like, I don't know. But I says, I remember seeing stuff in my crib. I mean, I was maybe 2, before I had to, vacate and have the big girl room because my brother was going to be born. But I said, I remember seeing stuff like as long as I can remember. I said, I just didn't say anything because I didn't realize that it wasn't supposed to be there.
No.
But then when I started seeing, like bloody people and people like with like just.
That's when I said something.
So I walked in the living room that day. I was like, why is the guy bleeding on the couch? Of course, my parents are like, my dad's like, where is it? I'm like, you're standing right in front of it. And my dad's like this with his hand, and he's like, it's a little bit cooler. And I'm like, and stuff like that. Of course, my mom, as I said, until she saw it, but then she kind of got into it, and she said that her mom used to say that she saw stuff too, but I mean, her mom, unfortunately, like my mother, was undiagnosed bipolar probably for a long time. When my mom was diagnosed, me and my brother looked at each other. I says, you know what? I says, if mom's bipolar, I says, Nana is definitely bipolar because she's worse than mom. Like,
Yeah.
So they didn't really believe her. So again, she said, I talked to my grandmother, and she said she shut up after a while because people just don't believe you. Like, I don't usually talk about this too much because there are a lot of people that just, prove it. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, there's a lot of stuff I can't prove now because my parents are dead. My brother is dead. These are the people that saw most of the stuff.
It's true. I mean, the film The Entity, filmed in the 1970s. True story.
True story. I know everyone just thought it was a movie. It's like, if you read it, and I read the book too, it's a
true story. And as far as I know, it was going on until the early 2000s. I don't know whether it's still going on.
That's crazy.
And then you can go to the Warrens.
Yeah.
She's been doing it forever. What were their films?
Amityville. Yeah.
And all them. And then the, Annabelle doll.
Yeah.
All true.
Yeah.
It's scientifically proven.
Yeah.
Just people don't see or hear.
Yeah. Or they're also afraid too of, unfortunately, there are a lot of scammers out there.
There is. There is.
Fortunately,
everywhere.
People, especially, these, I feel bad for these poor parents that they had a child that died. And these people are like, they're like sharks. And it's like, you should just somebody.
Let it go.
If you give me $200, you can speak to your daughter. You know what? Somebody should beat the living shit right out of you. Okay. Like, seriously.
They take advantage of the vulnerable and those in pain who are suffering loss. And they're like sharks circling when they smell blood.
It's just sad. Yeah. It's just sad. So so that's how I kind of got into it. And as I said, as the years went on, Dad would take me to these psychics who, or mediums, and I can't read you because you're just like me. No,
I encountered that because when I was little, my parents started saying I was psychic because, when you're an abused kid, you pay attention to what everybody's doing. So I would do predictive stuff just based on what was going on. And so my parents started and you know what, at times that's what kind of saved me from being just somebody that was only abused, that, they started. And so, they had me tested in school and shit. And, I would, okay, here's two things combined about things visiting you. Okay. When I was 12 and I was in bed and I felt her. I didn't see it, but I felt someone, and it was, there was light coming into the room from the door, and I felt somebody sit on my bed and pat my ankle, sit on my bed and pat, and I just froze. I mean, there was a weight on my bed, nothing there. And so I got up out of bed and I went out the door and I yelled downstairs, "Mom, I think Grammy's gone."
Aww.
And my Grammy, she got the phone call after we, what are you talking about? And then the phone rang and it was my uncle saying that my Grammy in Ohio had passed.
Yeah.
And so I have no explanation for that. But so, and then I went into, like doing it. But my mother used to take me around to psychics because, she had this kid. Blah, blah, blah. And so, I sort of knew what was up when I was a teenager so we would go into this place and you just sit there and give them no expression.
Yeah.
You just sit there, ask no questions.
And it's so hard because I mean, I can't even play poker. I react to everything.
I just
sit there like this.
I've got one of them faces as well.
I would stonewall.
Well, you've seen me react. I'm like, I react. It's like, what?
I know your whole face just gets animated. But when I was told would tell my mom twice. They told my mom, I can't read her. I can't read her. I can't read her. I'm getting nothing. Ha, hardy, har, har, har. It's because I didn't give you any cues.
Yeah. It was weird because they all did the same thing. It's not that they couldn't read me. They all touched me and let go of me immediately. Like it was like I was on fire or something. And a few of them looked at me. And my dad's like, "Well, what's wrong?" They're all, "Oh, I can't. She's just like me." And I look at my dad. I'm like, "That's it." So we just left. And then she had this one. She was adamant, like, "You have to help her." And my dad's like, "You're scaring my kid. Like, knock it off, okay?" Like, yeah. So it was just after a while. I mean, I know some people don't believe. I believe that there are some people that are maybe psychic or mediums, but not as many as that, that claim to be.
Not nearly.
I try and keep an open mind. I mean, the ones I saw, but I have met a few that are like spot on. Like,
I've met very few.
Everybody is able to do it and see it. We've been so dumbed down with shite. That's why we can't see. But a lot of people are becoming aware. More so, they want to know about this stuff. They want to know about spirits. What's going on? There's a spiritual war going on that we can't see.
Yeah.
Big time. And it's not about your Trumps or your Bidens or your mopeds or your crankies up north. It's a lot deeper. I've been saying it since last year. They've got you here with the COVID. They've got you here with the government. What's going on here?
Exactly.
But you know what?
That has sometimes too. It's like, why are we being so distracted? That's what I was talking. I was talking to a friend of mine about this like the other night, and I said it's like we're constantly being distracted from something. I says I'm not sure what that something is, but like there's this. I said there's something. There's always something that's going on that
My husband didn't believe. He knows I'm lunatic, as I call myself, a lunar with a tick.
That's all right.
And he started playing about with my dictaphone, doing EVPs without protection. He's got his mum on tape going, "Darren."
Oh, shit.
This is God's honest truth. The tape
I
recorder
believe you.
downstairs.
I believe you.
He bought her a big feck off digital with the, you need a freaking armoured truck to pick it up telly when they first come out with the on digital and all that body.
Yeah, the screen's like big and like the rest of it's about 4 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
Well, I had it in my bedroom after she passed. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And around the time he's doing this EVP and stuff. Anyway, I've never known a man jump so far off a bed, literally up. I thought someone had attacked him. He woke me up out my sleep.
Oh my God.
The telly broke. And he's seen, his description is someone coming out the telly going at him. He said it looked like Cruella de Vil with a white streak. I said it was your mother. He said no. He said it looked a bit like her, but it wasn't. I said it was your mother telling you to stop what you're doing because you're playing with danger.
And he turned around and said, "They're here."
That was his first experience. The second one, after Trisha, I had the core fitted and I got pregnant again, and it was a life and death situation where I had to have a baby who was growing round the coil.
Sorry about that.
And I had to have emergency termination and sterilised at the same time.
Aww.
Well, that was a little boy, we were told later, because I started going to a spiritualist church to find out what I was all about, because you wouldn't find it in a Catholic church. So, yeah, and it gave me my foundation. It gave me my foundation, that did, of what I was doing, how to protect myself and all that kind of stuff. I know all the tricks of the trade for protection. Anyway, he'd come they used to have supper with spirit, where you go and have fish and chips, and a medium would come to each table and give everybody a reading. Well, they called Darren out and said, you've got a son in spirit. Well, we named him Tommy. Anyway, about a year or so later down the line, I said, Darren, can you feel that crawling up the bed? And we both could feel like a child crawling between us in the bed. He said, yeah, I can. I said, it's Tommy. I said, now he's showing me this would be, oh God. He'd have been 13 about then. And I said, why are you showing me a 2-year-old? He says, I want you to see every age I am.
Wow.
True story.
Wow.
Well, that gave me shivers.
Yeah.
It's true that.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's funny you mentioned about stuff on the bed, because even before, there's some, like the house I live in now, there's always been stuff going on here. Like when we have like new people move in, it's like we have to tell them, like, listen, not that it's really bad or nothing, and there's nothing really scary, but I mean, like, doors open and close. I said, sometimes you're going to hear voices, sometimes you're going to hear knocking, sometimes stuff is moved. I said, but nothing's really bad. I said, the person I think who is really bad is left. I think he finally decided, okay, I've had enough and it's not my house anymore and I'm leaving. But I'd be sitting here, and this is, I had one cat die. I mean, but she was still alive at the time. And you know, if you have cats, like Jiggy will know. You know, if you have cats, I'm sitting there reading. If the cat jumps on the bed, you know what it feels like.
You know it is. Yeah.
So my cat's sitting beside me. I'm reading, and I felt the cat jump on the bed. Well, I'm like, I just happened to glance down, and I'm like, well, I only have one cat, so who the hell jumped on the bed, right? And she started hissing, and she's backing up, and I'm like, it's like, I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, that still happens to this day. I don't know. I mean, Kitty, unfortunately, the one who was with me that time, unfortunately, I had to put her to sleep because she got cancer. So now I'm not sure if it's her
or the other one.
But I still have, every once in a while, I get a cat jump on the bed. So,
well, at my old house, I had 2 cats, Tommy and Mr. Pussycat. And before I left, the old lady across the road, her kitten, it was 24 years old, had died. Tommy had moved into her bed on top of her fridge. And Mister used to go next door to me neighbour Gerald. He did every morning because Gerald would say, "Oh, they jump over," but we'd hear him go.
Yeah.
So when I moved, when I moved, next door neighbour had got 3 dogs. So I didn't want to uproot my cats, who was 13 and 14 at the time, and bring them here. But I did go and see them every week, regardless, because Gerald couldn't do anything with Mister because, he wouldn't let him. He just dug him in claws in his legs when he wanted to feed him. He was just one of them cats.
That's usually all it takes, yeah. So
yeah, he was arrogant to the last. But yeah, he'd never been to this house, Mister hadn't. But I saw him walk through my living room out the kitchen door after he died.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it to Gerald, and he says, "I'm glad you said that because I've seen him too."
Yeah, no, it's funny, because it's funny because one time too, my roommate, he didn't believe for a while either until he, door opens right in front of him. I mean, it's like, okay, like, you believe now? Like, and he's standing and he's like, because our house is old too. It's probably about 100 years old row house. And he's standing with the door trying to like bounce up and down to see if it, I'm like, I said, the door's not going to open. I said, trust me.
Yeah.
And he saw her one time because our house is long. You just walked down a long hallway and he was going to the kitchen and all of a sudden I heard, and I'm like, Wayne, what's wrong? He goes, I just saw Kitty. He goes, she was sitting on the table. I'm like, oh, okay. What do you mean, okay? I'm like, well, she lived here. Why can't she visit? I said, there's some other cat here. He goes, really? He goes, no, because before I got Kitty, he said he used to feel a cat jump on his back. I was like, yeah. I said, there's another cat here. Yeah. So, because we were trying to figure out, because there's this lady, I've only seen her once. And she's residual because she always does the same thing. Now, unfortunately, what she does is we're on a little side street. We're off a very popular road, and we're off on a side street. Well, she walks down the middle of the road. Swear to God, there's people like slam the brakes on. She stops right in front of our house, and she walks in right through the front window. No, they were telling me about her downstairs, and of course, I'm not doubting. I just never seen her before. And then one day, I was downstairs, and it was daytime, and I was out. This is when I smoked, because we couldn't smoke cigarettes in the house, and I was on the porch having a cigarette, and I just happened to see something, and I just happened to look, and I saw her in the middle of the road, and there was this guy across the street. And she stopped like right in front of right in front of the house. And then she just walked right through, and she always does the same thing. She goes right through the house, all the way to the backyard. And by the time she just about hits the fence, she just kind of fades. Right. And she does the whole, but so many people have seen her on the street. This guy across the street, he stopped dead and he's looking at me, and I started smiling. He goes, she just walked in your house through the wall. And I'm like, yeah. She does that a lot, apparently. So that's one of the ones that are here. So we couldn't figure out a few things. We knew up here, like in the hallway by the kitchen, it was just nasty. Like you get the heebie-jeebies. You don't even want to walk by this, but you have to go to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just, So the landlord, okay, I'm going to get some mediums to come in. Okay. And they both said exactly the same thing. They said that the guy up in the hallway, he said, there's an old man in your hallway. He's not happy because you're in his house. He doesn't realize, she goes, he had a heart attack here and he died, and he doesn't realize he's dead, and he doesn't know why you're in his house. So she explained to him that he died and he should go to the light and all this. And he was like, he thought she was full of shit, basically, and I'm not going nowhere. So she said, I don't know, what you can do, if you can live with it, And then she said something about, you have a lady downstairs, and she goes, there's a few people here, and she goes, there's a few animals here, and we were all, we're kind of smiling and stuff like that. And then about a year later, we were talking about it again, and he said, I'm just going to get somebody else, see what they say, see if we get a different answer. Exactly the same thing. She said exactly the same thing. So, but I don't think even my roommates have said, I don't think he's here anymore. I think he kind of maybe listened to her because it's not creepy there anymore in the hallway, which is good. So,
yeah.
But,
you know what?
Yeah?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Robin.
Okay, I'm just over in the chat. K-Ride Express says people think their ancestors mean long ago, but the tapestry is still being woven spiritually or scientifically. That energy is constantly present. I agree.
True.
Yeah.
The energy doesn't go away. It's like the really good perpetual motion machine. People say you can't create that, but I think that's what that energy is. I don't think it goes away. It becomes part of your DNA. Killendall. I think a lot of it is ancestral memory. Whatever anybody else, it's still part of you. It's not. No man is an island, really. You're all part of some thread, some part of the tapestry.
I know I'm not coming back. I've been here enough times now. No.
I'm not coming back. I think this is the first time I've been here, and I ain't coming back.
The first thing what happens when I die is when I figure it out, I'm gonna come back and haunt all your asses.
I haven't even got
me and my parents. We said the same. We all said the same thing. My mom was kind of like, but my dad always said that, he would try and do something. Now I know that because my brother, when he was alive, kept asking me, has Dad done anything? Has he, and he hasn't yet, because I'm still pissed off with him about a bunch of things that I found out about a year before he died. I mean, just a lot of bullshit family stuff, and I'm still like 13 years later, I'm still pissed off. So I said to my brother, because I was told that if you dream about dead people, that's kind of their way of visiting you also. I mean, I don't know how true that is. 100%. I'm like, okay. And every time he visits me, I'm just screaming at him. So he says, I don't think he's going to come in. I think my mom visits every once in a while, because one time I was sitting here and I was by myself. I know there was nobody here, and I heard this knock, and I mean that's not uncommon. So I figured, okay. I said, hi, how are you? I says, knock 2 times if you can hear me. So knock 2 times. I'm like, okay. I'm like, do I know you? Yes. I says, are you related to me? She's like, and it knocked like twice for yes. I asked her to do that. Sorry. So the only person I could think of, I said, this is my mother. And it knocked twice for yes. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I says, how many names do you, I said, okay, if you're my mother, how many names do you have? And she knocked 4 times, because she has 4 names. She's got her first name. She had 2 middle names and her last name. I'm like, okay. And then she answered a few questions that I'm still kind of, I'm not really sure. Now, I've told a few people this, but this is the first time I'm going to really tell. Now, people know, I might get a bit emotional. My brother passed away in August. Before he died, we always talked about, you got to do something. He goes, and he said, when I figure stuff out, he goes, I don't know how long it's going to take. He goes, I'll do something. So he says, we got to figure out something that's very specific. I said, he says, okay, what if I knock on the wall? I said, no. I says, I get knocking on the wall all the time. I says, do something that you always used to do to annoy me. So we were thinking for a few minutes, and he laughed. He started laughing. whenever we started fighting, and we used to fight like cats and dogs. I mean, it was like beyond fighting. Okay, like, I mean, we've broken each other's bones kind of fighting. Okay. To calm me down, sometimes he would tap my nose. So he said to me, "Why don't I tap your nose 3 times?" I'm like, okay. So he died in August. So this was in the middle of November. Now, I was in the kitchen and I was making tea. Now, another thing that he used to do all the time to me that used to piss me off, just because that's just the way he was, our whole life was just to make each other angry. Seriously. He would, if I'm making tea, I stirred it and I'd leave the tea bag in and I'd just leave the spoon in just for a few minutes. And he always used to flip the spoon so that it would come out and some tea would come out. It would, you know what I mean? So I'm in the kitchen, I'm making tea, and I stirred it and I'm standing there and I thought I saw something, I see.
In your peripheral. Yeah.
I kind of turned around and I was like, okay. And I thought I was imagining it because I thought, okay, no. Because, I felt something like blow on my face. And I was like, I looked again and I said, is somebody here? And I swear to God, like very faintly, I heard somebody laugh. And I was like, okay. I turn around to go to take the spoon out of my cup and it flipped, just like my brother. I stood there, I looked at the cup and I smiled and I'm like, Barry, is that you? Yeah. I swear to you on his grave, on everything that I love, tap me on the nose 3 times. I started laughing. I'm like, well, that didn't take you long. You know what I mean? Because a couple of months, right? So I said to him, I said, I'll never ask you again. I says, do it one more time. 3 or 4 seconds later, tap me 3 times. I'm like, that's it. Thank you. That's all I need. So, and I mean, sometimes I'll come in here. I know it's him because he's just an asshole.
You never forget their energy. They don't change.
I said to a friend of mine, I says, after death, he's not going to leave me alone. I said, like, just because he dies and nothing's going to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Their energy stays the same. The personality, who they were, it's just the meat suit that's gone. Everything about them is still there.
But I laughed, but it was so funny because that's what I said to him. I said, well, that didn't take you very long, because that's he kept saying. He goes, like, once I get there, he goes, like, I don't know how, we were both laughing. I don't know how things work. He goes, it's going to take me to do something. So, yeah, so it's going to, and I've only told, I told my friend Sylvia, who's one of my best friends, and she's like, what? I said, yeah. I says, actually, I kind of forgot about it. Because I said,
that's when they get
you. Because I mean, if you wait for it, you're waiting every day for something. You know what I mean? Yeah. You could like a piece of dust could fall on your nose, and you would think it's something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it's like I forgot about it, but it's funny that he flipped the spoon first, and he used to do that all the time. I used to like throw cups at him all the time because I was so mad, But it was so funny. He flipped the spoon first, and I knew immediately. It was like
it was
very. Yeah. I says, you learn fast. And then he taught, and I told my friend Sylvia, and I told Mark. Mark says to say hi, or Mark says hi. It's late. He had a migraine, so he just wanted to say hi, ladies. He's going to listen later.
Hi, just go off for a second, ladies. Be right back.
Okay. Yeah. So I told Mark. But that I haven't really told a whole lot of people because again, I don't need to hear negative comments. You know what I mean? I know what I went through. I know it was him.
Well, and you can read your audience. If you think people are going to be receptive and understanding and open-minded, then you tell the story. Otherwise, you keep it buttoned up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then people are like, "Oh, has he done anything else?" I says, "No." And I says, "I don't need him to do anything.
You don't need anything else." Yeah.
Because that's what I said to him. I said, that's what I said to him. I said, I'll never ask you again. I says, just do it one more time, just so I know. And like as I said, like 3 or 4 seconds later, 3 taps in the nose. I said, okay, thanks, Barry. you know.
Yeah, go be free, go be happy.
Visit. You know, I'm okay. I hope you guys, you know, I hope you're okay. I hope mom's not driving you nuts. Just stuff like that, you know. And, you know.
Yeah. I think that's pretty healthy too. Yeah, you know, not needing constant, like, you know, confirmation. You know, once it happens, you go, okay.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I said to a friend of mine, because she, you know, another friend was also, I think I told Jennifer, yeah, because she said too, well, why wouldn't you just, you know, keep testing to make sure? I said, because you just can't keep doing it because you don't know. Because I said, there's other things in this house and they might have picked up on it and just doing it just to, you know, maybe to interact. So you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it's pretty self-centered to want to be demanding of somebody who should.
He's gone on to his next life and he's doing
free.
And I says he doesn't have to be interrupted by me all the time.
Don't keep dragging him back.
You know, exactly. I says, you know, because I said, I know if I asked him to come here, he probably would, you know what I mean? But I said, like, he's on to the next part of his life and he's doing whatever he's doing wherever he is. And he doesn't have to keep being dragged back here. You know, same with my parents. Like, you know.
Yeah. You have to let them rest. It's like rest in peace. You know, they've got healing to do themselves through whatever they went through during their lifetime and at the end of life.
Yeah, and getting used to whatever's happening now, because, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be like the life he had. I mean, obviously. So whatever the next stage is, whatever he's doing, you know, concentrate on that and live and do that, right?
Yeah, and perhaps, you know, I've heard some people say that perhaps maybe the next incarnation, your job is only to give light. You know, this is just the form we're granted at this time. So maybe your next job might be just being energy and beneficial. You know, okay, that I've heard that. You know, I don't ascribe to any of that bullshit. It's not bullshit. But
behave. I mean, how do you like being on the Maggie show anyway, Robbie?
Well, I consider it an honor and a privilege. Thank you. I know this is a solo gig, but, you know, thanks for having me and Kory on. Yeah, it's really been a hoot. Okay, Reemsy in the chat says that he has a groundhog that will stand up on his hind legs and eat a sandwich.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
Be careful. Those things are nasty, man.
Reemsy has all kinds of wildlife. He has squirrels and birds and ducks. And
we do. Actually, for living in like the middle of the city, like we do too. We have like, once the lights go out, you got to see the raccoons down here. I'm telling you, it's insane. We have like I saw a possum. I was like, I couldn't get over that. I saw a possum in like downtown Toronto. I was like, this is when I smoked. So this is like, you know, like 9 years ago. And I was outside having a cigarette, and I heard something in our neighbor has like a garden in the front and like just plants and stuff. So I just heard rustling. I just thought, you know, one of the thousands of cats that are in the neighborhood, and out comes this nasty little possum. I was like, holy crap! We had really bad skunks for a long time. I mean, you had to like watch everywhere because these things. Like, I mean, I remember one time going like from my house to the bus stop, which is like a 3-minute walk. I saw like 9 skunks. It was like,
whoa!
We got a lot of raccoons, a lot of skunks. We got like falcons. We have like all kinds of stuff down here. So
I was trapped by a baby skunk one time. I went up on the hillside behind this house I was renting, and, you know, and then I saw this. I was ready to come down the hill to get back to the patio down below, and here's this baby skunk at the top of the stairs. And I mean, it was so cute. God, they're just little and fuzzy and puffy, and they miniature skunks. And then he raised his tail and started stamping his little feet. And I knew enough that when a skunk does that, that's a warning.
I got sprayed once. Not fun. Let me tell you. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Bathing in tomato juice has got to be the grossest thing. Oh my God. It was horrible.
Yeah. Well, I was in a really long kind of a tube skirt, because I'd just gotten off work, and so the only way to go was to climb over the neighbor's split rail next door. So here I am hiking my skirt up around my waist so I can fling my leg over to outrun this little skunk. He hadn't moved, but every time I look back, he stomped his little front feet. So with my ass showing, I climbed over the rail fence and slid down the neighbor's slope to get back to my patio, and nobody. And my friends that came over, I said, "You really, you were trapped by a baby skunk." I said, "What would you have done?" She said, "I would have made
the same as you, Robin."
Make friends with a pissed off little baby skunk. But we had everything. We had coyotes and raccoons and stuff up there where I lived. And I broke all the rules. Don't feed the coyotes because they'll come and eat your cat. But anyway, every Thanksgiving and Christmas, I would take the turkey carcass and fling it up on the top of our hillside. I'd say, "Merry Christmas!" And,
oh no!
Yeah, and I broke all the rules. I used to feed everything. We would have scrub jays that would come down and take peanuts out of your hand. They'd land there. They'd land on your head. I have a picture of my granddaughter feeding one of our scrub jays that were regulars. I love doing that shit. I love throwing out peanuts for things and seeds.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. So, God, we've been on an hour. Maggie, is there anything else you would like to do here on your show? Of course.
I'd like to thank you for turning up, Robin. It's very, very kind of you.
Well, I'm usually stuck in the chat, but I'm just so glad to be here. Gosh, thanks. This is my shining moment. I feel like a star.
I had to do this once.
I know. That's pretty good.
I know. I learned the rules really fast around here.
Do you want me to pull a card for this?
Yes, please.
It's a Mother Piece Tarot Reamsy. I've got some round ones, you see, so I was going to have a round day.
Sorry, the dogs are flipping out.
Well, they're doing their job.
Yeah. I like these.
I wonder if Reamsy has this deck.
The Mother Piece Tarot deck and book set. I've got
Mother Piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 drops. Yeah, squirrels aren't funny when they tunnel into your living quarters from the outside. Yeah, they are like giant, cute rats. They're darling though. But yeah.
What's that?
Squirrels when they tunnel into your living quarters. Yeah, they're not so cute. But they are. But they are just like. Well, they say they're like fuzzy pigeons or something. People find them useless. I find them adorable.
They're as you said, they're like cute rats.
Yeah.
Tails. If you took that tail away, they look like a rat.
If you shaved it, yeah.
If you shaved the tail, yeah.
Oh, that'd be really, really.
They're very
really
cheeky. Cute. We have a bunch of them around here. We have some famous ones because we have a little parkette next to us. It's called Queen Street Mental Health Center, and they have like little parkettes and little green spaces and stuff. And there's white squirrels, and apparently the white ones are really rare. We have like 6 of them in this park, and I guess the babies of the parents now, because I don't think they lived 20 years, but yeah, people come down and take pictures of them all the time. So
white squirrels,
totally white. And they're not albino because they don't have pink eyes. They have like brown eyes, right? So
yeah. Sorry, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at Reamsy. Yeah, I'm not a very au fait. I don't get them out very often.
She's got trouble. Yeah, she's got trouble.
He's on about round decks, just in case.
Okay.
In translation, I don't get them out. The round decks.
They wind up all over the floor. So
where everybody's standing at the minute, they feel isolated, but we're all surrounded by strength and just being really vulnerable. At the moment, we need to be the magicians of our life and decide now. Now is the time to where you're going forward, because everybody's got the Ace of Cups, all the discs, all the money. Things are going to change because we're becoming the empresses or emperors of our world, because we've come to a pinnacle point now where there's no, well, we've come to the point now where we've got to decide what everybody wants to do. We're being forced into stuff that we don't need to be forced. Don't be bewitched by someone who looks like they know everything, but they don't really, and dishing it out to everybody, but they don't know what they're on about. We've got the sun. We're coming up to the summertime now. I'm going to put it out there. I think we'll be let loose around about summer. And then we can decide on which 6 of Cups we want. We need to fill our own cups with our own thoughts, our own pathways at this time, and not listen to, said Egypt. It looks like an Egypt to me on there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh. Well, wow. So that gives some hope there.
Yeah. And just to piss people off. There's all spiders all over them stones. People weaving webs of lies.
Yep.
Well, there'll always be that. You know, I think.
Yeah, well, it has to be fair.
I think everybody's learning a bit more discernment these days.
You've got to. You've got to stand in your own power, no matter what it is, where you are and what you're doing. Because you'll be rewarded for it in the end.
Yeah. Is there anybody in the chat that would like a specific reading from Maggie? You know, this isn't exactly, you know, last call, but if anybody wants to raise their hand and say me, just say me. And
like silence.
I know you can hear a pin drop.
I don't know what these cards are, but I like them. I found them in a box. There's no instructions, no box, no nothing, but they must have come in a bundle that Reamsy. There you go. I don't know what these are, Reamsy. They're similar to the Psycho.
Oh, yeah, Reamsy one.
Reamsy, then V, and then 6 drops.
Right. Cool.
Oh, and Tanya.
They're all jumping out there, let me tell you.
Yeah. A handful.
Okay.
I was going to say it looked like a whole
pile. So,
Reamsy.
Right. Reamsy. Oh, God. Stupid notifications. Come on. Reamsy, this is adventure. You've been looking at. You want to go somewhere. You're making plans on this. You can see it in your mind's eye. You just don't know how you're going to do it yet. It's a new vision. It's something that you haven't done before. You understand nature. You understand everything that there is about it. You've just been you want to get more involved in it in some way. Your creativity is above and beyond. You're the friendliest person I know. You're ready for a celebration of some kind. Now, we're coming up to the spring solstice. Whether you're thinking of celebrating sometime, and it's got the 3rd month in, number 3. You're tuning in more to your outer environment. Can you see the spirits all around that person? I know you do your tarot and stuff, but you're going to have such a big awakening of some sort, and it's just going to be like someone's switched a switch on. It's got thunderbolt there. It's all going to come into your mind. Something will sit in place. But in the meantime, just be playful, which I know you are anyway. because you shined on. You're just one of them people.
He's just one of those people. Exactly.
Oh, God.
Huh.
Yeah, I know that feeling, Rimsey. I would rather not be awake and all.
Yeah.
So, I really don't know what them cards are, but that's the back. And they're similar to the Psychic Tarot.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, it is nice.
God, I love the artwork on all these decks. They're just like little works of art.
So beautiful,
yeah. Okay, so V is next.
V was next. And I'm using that one Everyday Witch, Rider White, whatever it is thing. I've left the box in there again. Oh, there you go.
I love cold readings, especially when Maggie does not know the person. I think it's even more mind-blowing. Well, no, it's all mind-blowing.
Yeah, exactly. Like last week when she did mine, we only talked a little bit, but she did Mark's, and you guys didn't even know him. You did nothing. Every single thing was like spot on. And the two of us we're in Twitter in the DM and we're screaming because we're like, oh my, he's like, how does she know this shit? I'm like,
I don't know.
That's Maggie.
The cards know.
Every single one, we were like, wow, yeah. And you didn't even know him. I just said, oh, my friend Mark's here from the Philippines. That's all you knew.
We still don't know him.
Yeah, I still don't know. Yeah. And that's why I don't go on Facebook and things. I don't follow people. I don't go on their profiles. I don't look at their photos. I've never have. It's something I've never done.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
No. So, V. Knight of Swords. You've been doing an awful lot of mental work at the moment. I think it may be over someone male. You think it's your Knight of Cups, hang fire. You've got the Lover's card, but is it a lover or is it deception?
Oh.
And you'll be bound by it.
Goosebumps.
Really?
You need to go quiet like the hermit, because you are the Empress and you can pick and choose who you want. Don't settle for less than you deserve. That's all I can say, and I'm getting goosebumps all the way up my leg. You are the Empress. Don't go for less than what you're worth.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know if that resonates, but you've been doing an awful lot of thinking.
Were that for me, I would think it would be addressing my self-esteem that might need bolstering.
Yeah.
You need to know that you deserve better. Maybe.
Oh, God, she 100% knows where she's going. She's got the confidence to do it because she's the Empress. It's a major arcana card. You are the person. Don't go for shit.
Yeah.
And we all need to be told that now and again, what we are worth. We're worth more than we could ever think we are.
Yeah.
And underneath, I believe it's the death of a relationship, maybe.
Wow.
Boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
V says that's heavy. Interest. Okay. You want to move on to six drops?
Oh, 6 drops. Yeah. I love that deck too, Reamsy. It's just one of them that, well, I've not had it long. I really haven't had it long, but I keep going back to it. I'll get my Mythic Tarot. Right, it's a mythic tarot. I'm not sure if you can still get this. This is from 1986.
Mystic tarot. Wow, it looks a little mystical and spooky.
I've used it before on here. I have.
Well, you know my memory.
Yeah. And you should know more. You're coming on my show, remember?
Oh, it's a. I forgot. I forget so easily.
That was too funny.
Well, I do too. It's so funny. You get up and you storm into the kitchen for something. You're standing there, you're like, oh. And like you have to go and sit your ass back down in the same chair. Otherwise, you're not going to remember. And as soon as your ass touches the chair, you're like, oh.
Replace your steps. Yeah.
My best one is looking for my glasses when they're on my head.
Oh, yeah.
Been there.
Yeah. That used to be me. Now I can't see without them, so.
Wondering where my phone is when it's in my hand. That's over the edge.
Yeah, one of Reams's first decks. This is the original. Apparently, they've redone it. I find if they've redone something, it's not usually as good as the first time round because the cards are rubbish.
1986. My living room furniture is from 1986.
I don't know when mine's from.
I'm looking at it right now, 1986.
My son was born in 87. My grandma died 34 years ago today.
Oh, all right.
On my mum's side. I only remember because it's my son's birthday on Sunday, 7th. I was in hospital 5 weeks before I had him. I was induced. That's it.
Okay, this is for 6 drops.
Yeah. So you've got everything you need, 6 drops. You've got 6 full cups there. You don't take illusion. You don't do illusional stuff. The moon's behind you. You're walking down the steps. Doesn't mean you're going down. You may think you need someone to support you. There may be somebody around. But again, you are above them. They're not above you. You are no fool. You could dance your way through any party. Just be mindful of that. Don't take less. Another one. Not to take less than you're worth.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Strong woman.
Very strong. No need to stand on her own 2 feet, but it doesn't. That's still inside this head in the heart pulls the gut. And that's where your instincts are in your gut.
Your gut is your second brain.
Yeah.
And that's a medical fact even.
Yeah, well, mine needs a good talking to. It's doing my head in.
Shake hands with it and make peace because that can cause you some grief. Okay, Tanya Alamont.
Tanya. Cool.
Oh, Reamsy wants to go to Hawaii. Oh, God.
My dad wanted to go there so bad.
I'm the only one I know who has not been to Hawaii. Every friend I ever had.
Oh, wow.
Of course, they rave about it. But the thing, I don't want to go on an airplane to get there.
Yeah. Not yet.
You think that don't bother me?
Oh,
I love flying.
Flying doesn't bother me. I don't know if I can stay. I've only gone places. I've only been to Mexico and Jamaica. And I don't, after like 3.5 hours, it's like, okay, I want off the plane now. It's like, I've had enough. So I don't know if I can take like really long. I mean, I always wanted to go to Europe. I want to go to Ireland. I mean, I know I have relatives there, but I don't know if I could. I don't know if I can stay on the plane that long because I start getting antsy at about 3.5 hours. I'm like, okay, I just give me a parachute. I'll jump out now. I'm good.
Okay, one word, Ativan.
Yeah, that's what somebody else said too. Just go to sleep.
Yeah, or just Ativan kind of eases things, and you go, well, what the fuck? I'm sitting in a hollow tube hurtling through space, and it's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not afraid of flying. I mean, it doesn't bother me. Like, I got actually,
I
I
like
did.
to be next to the window.
I was terrified before, but then I got hypnotized, and it doesn't bother me anymore. So that's not the issue. I guess it's just my ankles swell up really bad. It really starts to hurt. It takes like a day for my ankles to go back down. It's just not comfortable for me. So I guess I get antsy because I'm getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's not that I'm afraid or, I used to be though.
Huh. Okay, V says Ativan does nothing. Benadryl does. Yeah, Benadryl can knock
knock you right out. Though, yeah.
I have fallen asleep in a plate of food because of Benadryl when I had allergies. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'll shut up.
These are really old. It's a Russell Grant Astro Tarot.
Russell Grant. I've never heard of that.
He's a fellow English person. These are from 1992. And they were an old set that I'd lent a friend, and they brought them back to me a few years ago. I've given no end of stuff away. So, Tonya, we've got a new moon coming up soon. When's the new moon? 28th. 28th of this month. We've just had a new moon. That's it. 28th of this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got Neptune upside down. I think you're upside down in your mind's eye because you aren't having. Sorry, I'm supposed to be showing the cards. I'm reading them here. You've got Neptune upside down, which makes me feel you're in a muckle fuddle because your career, you've got a career that surrounds you, first head daughter. Now, we've told you this before. You aren't having time out for yourself. You've got the temperance card. Now, you need to have time out. You can't go on doing nights, days, nights, days. I don't know where this is coming from. I'm just giving you what I'm getting. Because if you don't, your cup will just spill out into the other cup and you will be, there'll be nothing left of you, darling. There's got to be some balance in it because these are all out of balance. For me, that's what I see. I mean, the book might tell you different, I don't know. But that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. So you need to do this ASAP. There's 3 lines coming down there from the moon. You were in the 3rd month. You've got to give yourself a break. It's just coming up, upside down Neptune. I'm not au fait with astrology, so that means nothing to me. I see everything as upside down, and you need a break. Otherwise, your cup's going to overflow. In the background, there's a boat. Go on holiday. Have a holiday.
Interesting.
Wow.
Tanya says she's at a crossroads right now.
Yeah, because it's all about little one when it should be more about big one. Beautiful lady here. Because you'll wear yourself so thin. I know where you're coming from. Believe me. I feel it. You really need to chill. Be a little tiger. Get your party animal on and go and do something.
Hey, you can.
Wow. Yeah, Tanya says, seems like it's pretty valid for Tanya. Aiken Drum joined us. Hey, Aiken Drum, we're about
to... Always first to the party. No. I love you.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. We're kind of winding things up here, Aiken. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, yeah, 6 drop. Somebody did say party. Check the schedule and see when it's happening. Get your tickets at the door, slide your card in the slot, and enter your secret password. And then you'll be directed to outside on the veranda and open bar.
But you really, please take time out. It's important, very important for everybody. I don't care who you are. You need that space, even if it's just for half an hour.
Escaping your mind, if even find some balance and refresh.
Really, exactly. Escape into a book or watch a movie or just do something for you instead of doing for everybody else. And
that's hard.
There's nothing left.
It's hard to break your patterns, but you're getting some tips here from the cards. Mario Heat in the chat. Mario,
I've just read it. I'm thinking about it, Maria.
Oh, there you go, Mario.
There you go, Mario.
I hope you've been behaving.
Oh, don't ask that of Mario.
I know. His wand will get him into trouble. He needs to behave. And just know, without the attraction of the buzz.
Okay, now we're getting delirious here. Okay, Maggie, thank you so much for having me on your show.
You're very welcome. I hope you come on again soon. I'm sure Kory wouldn't mind you coming on again.
I wouldn't mind at all. No.
And Kory is obviously the best co-host I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
I know. Who knew? Who knew we'd all get together on the Maggie show?
That's right.
Who knew? And I'm still itching from that duct tape you guys put on me.
The Chinese finger puzzles. Yeah,
I know.
Our best.
This finger puzzle that was stuck to one finger, it's finally drying out, and I think I need to wet it again to get it out.
I'm not even touching that one. I'm not going there.
I know. Okay, so Kory, stick around and meet up in the green room after we close out. Okay. You guys, thank you so much. Maggie,
thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Kory, you have been absolutely fucking delightful.
You got a word in. Yay!
Well, you only have to pick up once. I mean, holy shit.
The duct tape did it for me.
She got a phobia with the duct tape. Good to know.
Yeah, I'm starting to kind of like it. Okay. So.
No, save that for Jiggy show, please. My ears are sensitive.
I know that'll be a Jiggy show. Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh Jesus. There'll be more sound effects. Okay, you guys, we are gonna close out. Okay, everybody, join us on Sunday. Let me see. Who do we? Sunday the 7th. I think I have to confirm with her. I think our guest is going to be Zamara Bennett. Her. Oh God, I'm such a.
A week on Sunday, Robin. It's Mother's Day in England.
Yeah, Mother's Day is different in England. It's in March, always.
So it'll be the 14th.
14th. Yeah.
That's daylight savings time here in the U.S. and also UK Mother's Day. Well, we're going to have a special guest, probably.
And my dad's birthday.
Well, last time I think.
Who can we have to Mummy?
We had Michael one time, I think.
Yeah, Michael did us last year.
Yeah, Grannies.
Oh, we did Michael, should I say? Oh,
we did Michael.
Don't take my words for verbatim.
Hi, John.
Yeah, I know. Don't.
Hi, Tanya.
Oh, okay. So you got. Okay, we're
People are
closing
leaving.
out. Okay, so I'm gonna do the outro. You guys,
I'll
thank
stick
you.
around.
Okay, good, cool. Oh, we'll see you backstage.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank you for showing
Thank
up.
you.
Showing out
Thanks,
with
everyone.
the
Much love
Grannies.
always.
Thanks
Have a
for
great
being here
afternoon.
for Maggie's show. Okay, here we go. Everybody, bye.
Bye.